David Washington portrays Ron Stallworth in Spike Lee's new joint, BlacKkKlansman. We're rolling film right now. Guys, what's up? It's Russell here at Howell's Hollywood Reviews. If you guys haven't already, click that subscribe button, that little bell notification icon in the corner of the screen. You guys will get notified anytime I drop a new movie review, trailer review, anything new, you guys will get notified, so go ahead and do that. We're almost at 330 subscribers, making our way to 400. Just want to thank everybody. So after the video, like and comment. I'm going to be reviewing BlacKkKlansman. It is rated R with a runtime of 2 hours and 15 minutes. It stars John David Washington, Adam Driver, Laura Harrier, and Topher Grace, and is directed by Spike Lee. First, right out of the gate, this movie is in my top 10 of the year. This movie was absolutely fantastic. This movie is based on a 2014 memoir called BlacKkKlansman by the person who the film's about, Ron Stallworth. So we pretty much see that at the beginning of the film, Ron Stallworth applies to work for the Colorado Springs Police. He ends up becoming the first black detective there, and he ends up working in the records room, pretty much to his chagrin, because he kind of wants to do more instead of just looking up records for the other police officers. So they give him an assignment to hear Kwame speak, and Kwame's pretty much an activist for the African American people, and they want pretty much to find out intel about him. The police chief doesn't want what he says the black folks of Colorado Springs to kind of get wound up by him, so he ends up meeting Patrice at this rally, who is the pretty much the president of the Black Student Union at Colorado College. Well, they end up forming a chemistry together, and you'll see throughout the movie. Well, they end up putting Ron in the intel department. So he sees an advertisement in the newspaper, pretty much advertising for people to join the KKK. So he goes ahead and calls the phone number that is listed in the newspaper. Well, the Klan ends up wanting to meet Ron because they talk to Ron on the phone, and he kind of converses back and forth about how he hates black people and all sorts of different people. He's just a true blue American. He hates everybody, but he just really loves the white people, and pretty much they want to meet him in person. So Ron comes up with this idea that he can actually talk to the KKK on the phone and pretty much have Adam Driver's character, Flip Zimmerman, actually meet with them in person, so he can actually play both sides of the field. So Flip, played by Adam Driver, who was absolutely fantastic in this film, by the way, really good actor, really just showcases things after Star Wars, and it's really nice to see his acting career take wings. So Flip ends up meeting with somebody from the Klan, and then they end up driving him to meet a guy by the name of Walter, who pretty much is trying to recruit new members. Well, there's another guy by the name of Felix who has his suspicions on all the new people, but he really believes that Flip's character is Jewish, so he keeps hounding him about that. So Ron ends up also carrying on conversations with David Duke, who's played by Topher Grace, who, this is another role that is really out of character for Topher Grace. You may recognize from that 70s show. He ends up portraying David Duke, who is the Grand Wizard National Director in Louisiana, who has regular phone calls with Ron Stallworth on the phone, which I think are kind of funny just because of the fact that David Duke's character has no idea that he's talking to an African American on the phone. And again, John David Washington was absolutely excellent in this film. I can't mark enough good things about this film. So Ron pretty much calls the Klan, and they end up inviting him to meet the rest of the Klan. And Flip goes, Adam Driver's character goes, but Felix wants to set him down, give him a lie detector test because he believes that he's Jewish. And then you start hearing comments about how Felix really just doesn't like Jewish people, and those are the parallels I feel that are between. That's why I think there's some kind of camaraderie between John David Washington's character Ron Stallworth and Adam Driver's character Felix Zimmerman. Is because of the fact that you see hate on both sides of the field. You see the hate that the Klan has for African Americans, but you also see the hate that they have towards Jewish people too. So that right there, I think, is done beautifully by Spike Lee, just to draw the parallels of the two characters together, and the fact that they're wrestling with hatred from both sides of the field as well. So we pretty much see that Felix is getting ready to strap him down to a lie detector test, but Ron throws a boulder or a rock through the window, pretty much to break up the interrogation. So one of the Klan members goes to Ron Stallworth's address, and I'm not trying to ruin the whole entire film, and I'm actually really not. I'm trying to give you guys a little synopsis of what this film's about. But one of the Klan members end up going to Ron Stallworth's house. Well, they find out that Ron Stallworth's African American. He's not white, so they're like kind of confused. Well, Flip Zimmerman tells them that his address has been unlisted, so they must have had the wrong address. Well, then pretty much, so that you see that story move forward, and then on top of that, you also have Felix's character following along with Patrice, who is the love interest of Ron. So you kind of see that as well. Then inside during the movie, Walter wants to promote Ron Stallworth because he feels that he's such a great asset to the Klan, and Ron is pretty much warning Patrice, listen, you shouldn't go to this rally. The Klan may be doing something bad. That's when she kind of finds out that he's a police detective. He's been kind of keeping that from her. So the police chief ends up putting Ron in charge of taking care of David Duke, Topher Grace's character. And it's funny just because of the fact that he's taking care of David Duke, who he has been having regular phone conversations with on the phone. So that's pretty much the basic gist of the film. There's also a scene where the guy at the Klan kind of recognizes Flip Zimmerman's character, so there's that whole thing portraying out, okay? So pretty much that's the movie in a nutshell without going too deep into it. I just wanted to give a general synopsis of the film. This movie's absolutely excellent. I think this movie has a good shot at being on my top 10 of the year. Like I said, John David Washington, Adam Driver, fantastic in this film. Spike Lee really comes to life in this film, and you can really feel the passion behind the camera in this film. To me, I like I said, the Adam Driver and the John David Washington storyline with the hatred that you see from both sides of the field, with the hatred towards African Americans, with the hatred towards Jewish people. That makes them have common ground in this film, and I find that beautiful in the film just because of the fact that they have this common ground, and they have this, it's not just the African Americans that are going through hatred, it's the Jewish people, it's everybody who's going through hatred in their own different ways. So I appreciate Spike Lee for that, to bring this film to light. Also at the end, you kind of see things about what had happened and transpired in Charlottesville, and the film is dedicated to somebody who had lost their life in Charlottesville with the unfortunate events that happened there. But like I said, overall, this film is a top 10 contender for the year. It's an excellent film. The 2 hours and 15 minutes really commands your attention, and it puts you in the driver's seat the whole entire time. If you are in the mood for one of those biographical type films based on a true story, absolutely check this film out. I can't say enough good things about it. More importantly, have you guys seen BlacKkKlansman? Have you not seen it or seen it? Go ahead and sound off there in the comments. Is this Spike Lee's best film? Go ahead and sound off there in the comments. And more importantly, do you think John David Washington and or Adam Driver will be nominated for Oscars come Oscar season for the film? Go ahead and sound off there in the comments. Next time in House Hollywood Reviews, when I bring you Crazy Rich Asians. And until then, we'll see you guys in Hollywood.